In this video, I'd like to describe how we can graphically depict motion. So imagine that we have, and we'll look in one dimension, that we have an object that could be in a number of different positions. And let's say we label this 0 meters, 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters, 4 meters, 5 meters, 6 meters. And imagine I start my object here at the 2 meter point at time t equals 0. Now, if I want to depict motion later on, one of the things I might want to do is make a plot of the position x versus time t. And in this case, zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And at time t equals 0, this is time t equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At time t equals 0, the object is at position 2. So right there, at the 2 meter mark. If this object were to stay where it is, then at time t equals 1, it's still at position 2. At time t equals 2, it's still at position 2, and so on, and we would have a straight line on the position time plot. Now, if, however, we had this object started there, and then at time t equals 1, with that 4 meters, at time t equals 2, and this would be, say, in seconds, and we'll put time in seconds, and position x in meters. But we still start the object in the same spot. What would that look like? Well, we'd start at time t equals 0, we'd start right there. At time t equals 1, we're at 4. At time t equals 2, we are at 6. And this forms a straight line. All right. The intercept is 2. And the slope, which is the rise over run, would be 2 meters in 1 second, or the slope is 2 meters per second. So that means that the speed of the object is equal to the slope of the position time plot. Now, if we had something that was going a little slower, then it would have a smaller slope. It might look like that. And if it were going faster, it would have a steeper slope. That'd be faster. And this is stationary, as we saw before, and that has a slope of 0, or a speed of 0. So this is how we can graphically represent nearly any kind of motion for a position in time. So I'll leave you with 2 possible plots as a question. What type of motion would look like this? So again, this is time. 1, 2, 3, etc., etc., etc. And this is position. Okay. What would this be? So this is question number 1. What would that look like? So this is, what would that type of motion be? And what type of motion would the following be? So let's do another example. So this one won't be a straight line. So something that looks like maybe something like this. Okay. think about those, and in another video I will start with those.